Hi everyone, Kelt here. I just wanted to share with you a brilliant article written by a woman, a very beautiful woman called Jean Gachot. I think that's the correct pronunciation of her name, I hope so. Apologies if it's not. The title of her article is Dear Meghan, put down the British crown on your head before I remove it with my pen. Well, this headline just grabbed me and I had to read on. This woman is of African heritage. She's the daughter of a chief, and she absolutely loves the UK. So Jean writes an open letter to Meghan. It reads, and I quote, Dear Meghan, as you have made it your life destiny to destroy this country's heritage and crown, whilst you still wear your own version of the crown they gave you, I stand here on British soil claiming my birthright. As the majority of black people reading my articles cannot comprehend my love for Britain, they think that this is some form of insanity on my part. They think that, and then she goes on to describe her skin tone and how she's supposed to feel about Britain and how she's supposed to love Africa but not love Britain, and how these people will tell her that British people will never love her or accept her. She then goes on to say, and I quote, Meghan, I want you to know that way before you came on the scene, I did serve my country, even through my pencil, without seeking love or a validation from anyone. Jean then goes on to challenge Meghan in this open letter that she has branded herself as the ultimate victim of the British royal family, but claims not to know about their history. She says, let me school you for a minute on some of the British history in the monarchy. She then tells the story about a woman and described her as having blue-black skin and a woman more honourable than Meghan could ever be. She talked about her hardships, how she was taken away from her family when she was only 5, and she was of true noble birth, the daughter of an African chief. She is talking about a woman called Sarah Forbes Bonetta, who was born in West Africa of Yoruba descent. Sarah Forbes was captured in 1848 at the age of 5 during the Oakston War. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Her family were killed in the war, and as a daughter of an African chief, Sarah was kept in captivity as a state prisoner, either to be presented to an important visitor or to be handed over at the death of a minister or official to become his attendant in the next world. She was brought to England and was given the names of Forbes or Bonetta after the captain and the ship. She lived with Captain Forbes' family and then was taken to Windsor Castle and received by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The Queen paid for Sarah to be educated and saw her several times in the space of a few years. Sarah, who was highly intelligent, developed a particular talent for music. She married in 1862 and later had a daughter, Victoria, to whom the Queen acted as godmother. And here is a photo of Mrs. Victoria Randall with her 2 children. This was the goddaughter of Queen Victoria. So this woman became a British royal and was treated as such by the Queen. This writer goes on to say that she was very sure that life was hard for her and how she had to adjust to life here in England at a time when things were extremely difficult for her people. But she says that history speaks kindly of this young woman, and she took, with grace and dignity, what life threw at her and became the best version of herself on British soil, learning music and serving her country. She said she got married, had children, and lived her happily ever after. This writer talks about her own story and how she came to Britain. And while she's saying this, she's challenging Meghan and showing how very different things could have been for Meghan if she had done things differently. She talks of her father supporting her writing and how he calls her a global writer. She then challenges Meghan by saying not to ever underestimate the blessing of a father, that it is past that of a mother. She talks about Esau in the Bible crying tears of blood for her father's blessing, and then says, "This is why it is your father, not your mother, who gives you away and blesses your marriage." She says, and I quote, "Like you, Meghan, my father gave me the best education in Zimbabwe. My English teacher was a white man from Liverpool who perfected the art of creating writing in me." But then she says, "Unlike you, Meghan, I will always be indebted to my father, even though I have left his house." She refers to how he sent her to England and to university when she was only 17. She describes how, because she was under 18 and she arrived at the UK border, she was detained because she had no legal guardian. Her father called immigration and demanded to speak to the chief of immigration officer at Gatwick. She says if there was ever such a title. She tells of how he managed to speak to someone important and asked why they were detaining his daughter, and questioned, "Do you know who she is?" And then he says, "Do you know who I am?" He says, "I have over 200 servants right now, and I own land and a mansion." Joan describes how she was again interviewed by the immigration, and then when she had given up all hope, they started asking her unusual questions, for which she was not prepared. She says that her gut told her just to speak the truth. She answered in the affirmative to their questions about whether she had servants at her home in Zimbabwe, and as to how many, she said over 100, not knowing already that her father had spoken to them, as she answered all the questions honestly, to which they confirmed that they had spoken to her father and that the good news is they could let her in, but it was on one condition. The condition was that she stay with the legal guardian to whom they had spoken, and he was also a friend of her father. That legal guardian was a UK diplomat, an ambassador. She talks of how she was welcomed to England and lived her life. She tells of how her father taught her that royalty is a destiny and a calling, something you are born with, rich or poor, and then when it calls you, no one can ever run away from it. And he told her about the spiritual history of her country, telling her that she is the granddaughter of the ancestors and they are calling her back to take the kingdom. She talks of how she chooses destiny over crown. She says that she does not want to be Meghan, and she says, "Unlike you, Meghan, I honour my father. Unlike you, I respect my husband and his family. I do not claim to be bigger than the man I married." She says that the Asante people have put a crown on my head, so I can never ever spit on them or shame them the way you have spat on the British royal family. She says that Meghan has humiliated them after they gave you their son, even as a divorcee, bending their own traditions to allow Meghan into their family. She says that if history is to judge between the two of us, I am more of a black British royal daughter of England than you have ever been. As the daughter of an African chief, I would rather identify with a woman of honour like Sarah Forbes Bonetta, as I share far more attributes in common with her than with you. She then questions that if this country is so detrimental to Meghan, and if her husband's family truly took her passport and locked her in a tower, then please kindly put down the crown they gave you, as it belongs here on British soil, not on Oprah tell-all interviews. Well, this woman's writing is brilliant and from the heart. She talks about Meghan threatening the existence of the crown and challenges her again about removing the crown from her head and putting it down. I haven't included the whole article. I'll put a link to it in the description, but I have quoted a few of her words. It is quite controversial and I'm sure it will stir up strong opinions, but one thing that she does do is simply prove that the British royal family have never been in any way biased in one way or another based on skin tone. Go and read the whole article and let me know what you think. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Please subscribe, ding my bell for more alerts for more videos, like if you liked it, and share. Bye.